during slavery, when Frederick Douglass said that, I don't care how hard it is, the lynching, the raping, the kidnapping in the cotton fields during slavery, he said, we cannot get depressed. We cannot give up. We cannot wave the white flag of surrender. He said we have to remember, without struggle, there is no progress. So let's don't get down about what's going on. Let's don't get depressed. Let's wake up every morning and say, no, we run into the front line because we're ready for this struggle. Because as long as we're struggling, that means we're giving our children a better chance at a better world. So let's celebrate the struggle.
That's right. That's right.
And then finally, we have to have the mentality of Malcolm X. I mean, right now, we really got to have that by any means necessary mentality. Because, you know, if ever there was a time to be an unapologetic defender of black life, black liberty, and black humanity, it is now. Because they are unapologetic in their white supremacy beliefs. We got to be unapologetic. We have to do like our brother Malcolm when he said, we declare on this earth to be a human being. We declare on this earth our rights as human beings. We declare on this earth to be respected as human beings. And we make this declaration on this day, on this earth, in this society, and we plan to bring it into existence by any means necessary. So, brothers and sisters, with that charge, I want to introduce you to some people who inspire me on a daily basis. First, we start off with the mother of Ahmaud Arbery, who was lynched for jogging while black, not in 1940, not in 1950, but in 2020. He was lynched for jogging while black in Brunswick, Georgia. And because of her unrelenting efforts, she made history in getting justice by having the killers of her son, the lynch mob, the father and son murders duo, be convicted not only for the first time in Georgia's history of a hate crime, but she also saw a conviction on the federal level. Let's give a great round of applause for Ahmaud Arbery's mother, Wanda Cooper Jones. And our next panelist certainly is no stranger at all to anybody in this room. I mean, he epitomizes what it means to transform tragedy into triumph. I mean, this brother, as a teenager, with 4 other African-American youths, and I think one of his main colleagues is here. I digress for just a minute, Councilman. Y'all give a round of applause to King Corey Wise, the exonerated fine. And I know the councilman wouldn't mind me doing that, but you all know the story. I mean, we were reminded of Ava DuVernay's incredible docuseries, How They See Us. Well, I'm so proud how we see you today, brother. From going to being wrongfully convicted as the Central Park Five to becoming the exonerated five to giving one of the best speeches at the Democratic National Convention, all the way to becoming city councilman here in New York City. Give it up for Councilman Salaam, Yusef Salaam. And now, this other young lady is not a stranger to anybody in this room, neither. She is one of the original mothers of the movement.
That's right.
It was her son who was the first I Can't Breathe case, choked to death here in Staten Island, New York, around the same time, a few months before, Michael Brown was shot in Ferguson, Missouri, where all the black people in the community said, he was saying, hands up, don't shoot. And we had these two issues coming together simultaneously around the same time. And it was her dignity and grace with the other mothers of the movement that saw her fight to refuse to have her son's death swept under the rug and to make sure that they had the Eric Gardner law passed in the state of New York. Give it up for the mother of Eric Gardner, Miss Gwen Carr. And now starting from my far left, this young lady is incredible in every stretch of the word. Down in Ocala, Florida, 2 years ago, her daughter, A.J. Owens, mother, hard worker, a good woman, was told by her children who were playing outside that a white lady had called them slaves and said other horrible things about her daughter should be raped. I mean, just things you could not imagine. An old white lady who was bitter for whatever reason. And the children went and told their mother. The mother came and knocked on the lady's door. This lady had made 911 calls on black children. I know we're going to get to you, Sabrina, and talk about how Trayvon's killer called all those 911 calls on black children. But this is particularly heartening because she made all these 911 calls on black children, so the police had documentation of how crazy this Karen was. And so when her daughter went and knocked on the door, that was a metal door with a lock. Instead of the lady, if she felt threatened, instead of calling 911 and stand behind her locked door, she shot through the locked metal door, killing her daughter in front of her two little boys ages 6 and 9. And they saw their mother die before their very eyes and had to go knock on the neighbors' doors, asking to call 911. She has truly transferred her pain into power. She has produced a documentary called, what's the name of it?
The Perfect Neighbor.
The Perfect Neighbor, that has won the Sundance Movie Documentary of the Year. And she just got back from Copenhagen, where it also won there. So y'all give it up for this young woman who refused to let her daughter's name be in vain. The mother of A.J. Owen, Miss Pamela Diaz. The Perfect Neighbor. And it's such a unique documentary because it takes it from the perspective of all the body cam video, the leading up to the shooting in the 24 hours after, with all the 911 tapes. I mean, it's riveting. So thank you, Ms. Diaz. And this next young lady, even though she's not from New York, she is well known as part of the family. She is part of the village. I mean, it was her son who in many ways raised the consciousness level of what our black children have to encounter on a daily basis. It was her son who President Barack Obama famously said, if I had a son, he would look a lot like Trayvon Martin. I mean, he was walking home, minding his business, had his earpods, talking to his high school friend, had his hoodie on because it was starting to rain, and this neighborhood watch volunteer, this self-appointed neighborhood watch volunteer with a 9mm gun found reason to profile, pursue him, and shoot him in his heart. And it was this young woman who, with her, Trayvon's father, Tracy Martin, went all across America saying that we can't let them do this to our children. And I never forget what she said at the first hoodie rally here in Grant Park in New York, Union Square, New York. She said something, and it was just so profound, and she was fighting a cold. I had her doing interviews all that day, and she was ready to, kill me and Trayvon's father. But I told her, Councilman Salam, that you at least say something to all the thousands of protesters who came on social media. There were no formal announcements for the hoodie rally, the first hoodie rally that then went all across America. All those young people came out there by the hundreds off of social media. And when they were standing there, Sabrina went to the mic, and I will never forget what she said. She said, I want to thank you all for standing up for my son, because he's not just my child, he's your child. And if it can happen to my child, it can happen to your child. So we all got to stand up for Trayvon. We all got to stand up for our black children. And so, Sabrina Fulton, we are still standing up for our black children. Y'all give a great round of applause for Trayvon Martin's mother, Sabrina Fulton, one of the original mothers of the movement. And then finally, this next young man, who I keep telling, we need our leaders to lead. And in the wake of the tragic killing, the watershed moment, not just for America, but all around the world, when his brother George Floyd was tortured to death by a Minneapolis police officer named Derek Chauvin, with his knee on his neck for 9 minutes and 29 seconds while he said, I can't breathe, 28 times. And I remember, Sabrina, like you, was so nervous when he did that first interview. So nervous. His wife was there. I mean, but how he evolved and how he continued to be dignified and graceful and articulate and strategic. As he said, I can't breathe on a whole nother level to where the whole world was marching in streets, not just in America, but in Paris, France, in London, England, in Brazil, in Japan, in Canada, in Mexico, in Africa. They were all marching saying, I can't breathe. Y'all, please give a big round of applause for a man who should run for Congress. And yeah, I said it. I'm putting him on the record. He should run for Congress. Y'all give it up for George Floyd's brother, Philonise Floyd. Yourself, we got to get on. All right. So we have 2 questions for each of the panelists, and they'll say a parting statement, and we'll let you all continue to learn from them as we done. I want to quickly give a shout out to Stephon Clark's brother, who came from Sacramento, California to be with us, Stephonte Clark. Always part of the family here at NAM. So the first question, we started off with the quote by Angela Davis, Councilman Salam, and that was, she refused to accept the things that she cannot change, but every day she gets up and fight like hell to change the things she cannot accept. What things, when you wake up in the morning, do you fight because you cannot accept, my leader?
My goodness, my goodness. First, may the peace, mercy, and blessings from the owner of all peace, mercy, and blessings be upon each and every one of you and your families. You know, when I think about what's at stake is the very human potential that is lying inside of us, waiting in some cases for permission to live life. I can't accept that. When I think about the fact that they have hung us from trees so that we couldn't participate in civic engagement. Me and my brother Corey Wise and the others, we were run over by the spike wheels of justice. And they looked back and said, they still alive, let's run them over again.
My Lord.
They didn't want us to stand up for ourselves and be a light in the darkness. But the truth of the matter is that people are looking at us and understanding that if they could do it, we could do it. It's important for us to believe in ourselves in fact, knowing that we were here because God said we should be. God didn't ask us permission. We were one of over 400 to 500 million options. And God chose us. That means we're supposed to be here doing the things that we are supposed to do,
Amen.
living a life that we are supposed to be living, and being a light in the darkness. And most importantly, remember, just like our brother Freeway, he was shining. I saw him. But diamonds don't shine. God has broken us and changed us and altered us and caused gold to be poured into the cracks so that we become works of art.
Wow.
But in many of our cases, we've been altered from a piece of coal into a piece of diamond. And I want to say this. Diamonds don't shine. They reflect the light. We need more of us to reflect the light because that's where the fight is at. It is in righteous collaboration. And do not miss the trees for the forest. Our plan and our mandate is to not forget that we got a lot of living to live. Why do I say that? Because if we think just about the next day under this administration, we will crumble. But if we have a 50,000-foot view that allows us to see 50 years into the future,
Yes. Yes.
100 years into the future,
Yes.
we're going to be all right because we always been all right.
Thank you very much, Councilman. Okay. And I would say, in listening to you, I have to say this, an older black woman told me, talking about what we're going through in America today, Councilman, she said, man, black people done been through too many thunderstorms.
That's right.
They worry about these few raindrops that they sending from Washington. Amen?
Right.
So, Sabrina Fulton, same question. Maya Angelou said she refused to accept the things she cannot change, but every day she will fight to change the things she cannot accept. What things do you fight to change when you wake up in the morning?
First of all, it's going to be difficult following yourself's statements. He is a speaker, and a great speaker at that. But when I think about that question, I think about Reverend Sharpton's theme for this conference, and it's being a light in a dark time. I mean, we came from darkness. We are dark. But guess what? Something good always comes from the darkness. A light always comes from the darkness. And so, just like you, I came from a long line of strong women and men, and we are used to fighting. And so we're going to continue to fight, whether it's fighting for housing, whether it's fighting for our children, whether it's fighting for education, whether it's fighting discrimination, whatever the fight may be, we up for the challenge.
Amen.
As a race of people, we understand the assignment. and we have not wavered since slavery. We have not wavered, and we should be patting ourselves on the back and giving ourselves a hand for knowing the challenges we face and still get up in the morning and still put on our clothes and still have a positive mind and attitude.
Amen.
I think in spite of everything that we go through, in spite of it all, even this panel up here, in spite of it all, we still keep standing. We still keep doing what we need to do, and we will still continue to fight.
Thank you so much, Sabrina. And you are a great speaker. And now, Ms. Gwen Carr, same question. Angela Davis said, I refuse to accept the things I cannot change. I wake up every day and I fight for the things that I will change. What things are you fighting to change?
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm here today because, you know, this is the spot every year to come to, okay?
That's right.
But when I wake up in the morning, I think about all the triumphs and all the trials and tribulations I've been through. And I say, I cannot stop this fight. We have to continue to fight, no matter what stumbling blocks, brick walls, or whatever is in front of us. We must try to tear them down and go forward. It's all right to get knocked down, but get back up again.
Amen. Amen.
And I say that we've been knocked down a lot. Look at our ancestors. They didn't have 1/10 of what we have to fight with.
Yes, ma'am.
And they made it through, and they left a legacy for us.
Amen.
They put us through school. They went without so that we could have, and we cannot disappoint them. We have to remember whose shoulders we stand on. And we stand on the black women and men's shoulders of this country. We built this country. We are entitled to this country. We're entitled to all the rights of this country. So I will not accept being a second-class citizen.
Amen. Amen.
I will not accept them telling me that we must go back. I will not accept that our children can't have the greater things of life just like the other children. Those things I will fight for to my death. And I just say, we all must get together and do this. You know, don't back down. I don't care how grim the future looks. How grim did it look to our ancestors?
Amen.
With nothing to fight with. As the Lord said, use what you got. No matter what it is, use what you got. You may not have a lot, but use it.
Amen.
So I just said, let's stand up as a people. Let's stand up as the builders of this country, and let's fight back.
Amen. Y'all give it up for Miss Gwen Carr in that Mary J. Blige outfit. We love you, Miss Gwen. All right. So next, Miss Pamela Diaz, same question. Same question. Angela Davis said that she refused to accept the things that she cannot change, but fight every day to change the things she cannot accept. What things, when you wake up, do you fight to change?
Attorney Crump, I wake up every morning looking for and expecting and fighting for, first, hope. Hope that we live in a world where there's so much going on. There's decisiveness, DEI is under attack, racial violence, justice. A hope that people of color, people who are considered marginalized, their lives will be valued.
Yes.
I fight for social justice. I fight for our people. I fight for us. I was recently in Copenhagen, and someone asked the question, can you explain American politics after watching The Perfect Neighbor? I fight for America, that one day we'll get it right.
Yes.
I fight for that we as a people will come together because there's power in numbers.
That's right.
We all can make a change and make a difference. That's my hope. That's my fight.
Amen.
All right.
Thank you for representing our people across the waters. Now, Miss Wanda Cooper-Jones, same question. I'm sorry, I keep saying Maya Angelou. Angela Davis said that I refuse to accept the things that I cannot change, but every day I wake up, I will fight to change the things I cannot accept. What things do you wake up in the morning saying you're going to fight to change?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
It's a pleasure to be here before you on this afternoon. When Attorney Crump asked me the question of what would I change, I thought about the Ahmaud Arbery's mission statement. That mission statement is that we will advocate for Black boys in the areas of mental and physical health. We will also enhance our communities. And lastly, we will fight for social justice.
Amen.
When I lost Ahmaud, I didn't realize that in the areas of mental health, our young Black men, they struggle in that. And when creating the foundation, I wanted to be able to help them, one child at a time. So there won't be any more Ahmaud Arbery's or Trayvon Martin's, Eric Garner, AJ, Tyree Nichols. That's my prayer, and that's my hope, and my mission to you all. And I hope that you guys would join me in doing this as well, that we will advocate for our black men.
Amen.
In all areas. So thank you so much.
Amen. Thank you, Wanda. And finally, Congressman, a question to you. Same question. What do you wake up in the morning fighting to change?
Me personally, I always go around and always try to educate all people, period, to be able to have the understanding that they can get jobs, like be electricians, be plumbers, be HVAC, be welders. I look at things like that because I know a lot of people in these ghettos, and these ghettos will never change because they're all around the world. We need to be able to mobilize. We need to be able to have an understanding of how to be strategic and be able to teach these people how to get these jobs. You can go to jail over and over, but at the end of the day, these people will hire you. They can't deny you because they need you. Our ancestors been doing this their entire lives, working, sleeping outside, having places being bitten and eaten by all kind of bugs, but they still got up. And they did what they had to do to make sure that their family still be able to live on that plantation and live. What I'm trying to tell y'all is, if we do this, it won't be no more ghettos. That's the #1 goal for me. Teach these people how to achieve goals. That's the #1 thing. And there's nothing bad and worse than being broke and being black.
My Lord, that part.
All the men in here, I can say it and I can relay this message to you. You know what I mean when I say, ain't nothing worse than a broke man flirting. It's the bottom line, because women are the strongest people in this room. It's us. We got to be able to make sure we can take care of these people. I'm being real and I'm being honest. If you feel what I'm saying, then raise your right hand.
Hey, that's a quotable. Being broke and flirting. Thank you for allowing this floor. Second question, final question, going back to you, Councilman. We've recently witnessed Senator Cory Booker we witnessed Senator Cory Booker filibuster for 25 hours, making a personal commitment to stay on his feet, to stand up to and resist the enemies of equality. We've recently seen Pastor Jamal Bryant go on a 40-day fast and boycotting Target for their rolling back diversity, equity, and inclusion. What do you encourage people to do to take a personal commitment in this moment in history to stand against the enemies of equality?
My gosh, my gosh. Salute to Cory Booker. Salute to all of our leaders who are standing up, who are fighting back, who are making sure that that dash in between their birth and their death matters. I just got a simple thing to say. I'm gonna tell you what my mama told me almost 36 years ago. She said they need you to participate in whatever it is they're trying to do.
Amen.
Do not participate. Refuse.
Amen.
That's the mandate. That's how you should live your life. And if you want to go a little further, I'm not telling people to do anything unrighteous. But you know, Claude McKay in 1919 said, if we must die,
Yeah.
let it not be like hogs, hunted and pinned in an inglorious spot, while round us bark the mad and hungry dogs, making their mock at our accursed lot. If we must die, oh, let us nobly die, so that our precious blood may not be shed in vain. Then even the monsters we defy shall be constrained to honor us, though dead. O kinsmen, we must meet the common foe. Though far outnumbered, let us show us brave. And for the 1,000 blows, deal one death blow. What though before us lies the open grave? Like men, we'll face the murderous, cowardly pack, pressed to the wall, dying,
All right.
but fighting back.
Amen. Thank you, Councilman. And we receive that. We resist and we fight back. Sabrina Fulton, same question. What personal advice do you give the people to sacrifice in this moment to stand up for our rights? What do you encourage them
I
to do?
think we should stand together, and this is a better time than any to stand united with each other. And if it's Target, Amazon, Walmart, I think we should take our money, our green, where we are respected. If you are not respected there, don't sneak. I'm an Amazon Prime member, but I'm gonna cut that out. Because if they don't respect me, I don't respect them.
That part.
You know, we got to stop tolerating people who continue to disrespect us. That's all I want to say. Stop taking your money where you are being disrespected.
You know, Sabrina like a pool shark. She always say, oh, I can't follow Councilman Salam, and then she call me, give us some nuggets. So I get it. The councilman said, you know, we must be courageous. It reminded me of those saying, we can't be cowardice. A coward dies 1,000 deaths,
That's right.
but a man dies but once. We must be men in this fight, unapologetic. Our brothers and sisters must resist. And then Sabrina says something even more profound and deliberate. Everybody can do some small things to resist. Like, don't use the Amazon Prime when you see them cuddling up to the enemies of equality. Don't go shop at Walmart. We got black businesses we can support.
That's right.
We all have to make an effort. It ain't that hard to get the same goods from other places where they won't just tolerate you, but they celebrate you. That's what we gotta do. And so, Ms. Gwen Carr, same question. What do you advise people to do to resist what's going on in America? Personally, what do you tell them to do?
Well, I think that people should not support people who don't support you. Okay, and there's many ways. Sometimes unconsciously you are still supporting people that's not supporting you, and this is what we have to look into. And just what Sabrina just said about Amazon. Now, I won't lie, I am an Amazon user. But now, after this DEI came out and saying don't use Amazon, so I did. I stopped using Amazon. Then I thought about it. I said, but you know what? They're still getting my money because I'm a Prime member.
That part.
So I had to call and cancel my Prime.
Yeah!
So that's what we have to do, the little things that are still supporting these companies that's not supporting us. And it might be a little hard because you say, oh, well, they have what I want. We got other businesses that have what we want too.
That's right.
So we have to start supporting them. And we have to put the word out, because some people, just like me, are real Amazon users. Let them feel it and let them cancel their Prime, because most people have Prime because they use it on a daily basis.
Yes, ma'am.
So, you know, and we have to all stand together on this. It's not going to work if it's just a few of us. We all have to do just like the Montgomery bus boycott. We must break the back
Yeah. Jim Crow.
of Jim Crow, just like, because they're trying to bring all of that back. And we must make a stand. We're not going to stand for it.
Yes, ma'am.
You're not going to put us back to having a separate water fountain, separate stores that we go into. We can't go into certain restaurants.
Yeah.
No, we're not going to do that. And if we stand back, if we show that we are cowards, they're going to take advantage of it.
Amen.
You got to stare it dead in the face and says, I'm not taking it, and you're not going to do this to me.
Amen.
All right? Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Gwen. Hey, that's deep. She said, lead by example. Y'all heard what she said? How many of y'all canceled y'all Amazon Prime cards? Hey, we got to lead by example. Thank you so much, Miss Gwen, for saying
Yeah.
that. If they not going to stand up for us, we ain't going to stand up for them.
Right?
Because I know Philonis will say, he'll break it down even deeper. Woman tell you, you ain't going to stand for me? And that's what we got to say to Amazon and Target and Walmart
Well, I ain't
and
shopping
all
at Target
these companies. You ain't going to stand for me, we ain't going to stand for you. And so, Ms. Pamela Diaz, same question. What do you encourage, what personal commitment do you tell people to take?
I have a couple actions for you all. First, to piggyback off the other ladies on the panel about spending your money, being intentional about where you spend your money, and then secondly, saving that money and also investing into organizations, nonprofits, funds who are out here supporting the cause. Many of us have foundations and funds. I've recently co-founded a fund called Standing in the Gap that supports victims who have been impacted by racial violence. We have the National Action Network. We have the Trayvon Martin Foundation. Use those dollars to support organizations that are fighting the cause.
Yeah.
And secondly, we need to invest in our youth, empower them with education, teach them what is going on.
Amen.
My 10-year-old grandson, who witnessed his mother being shot, tells me every day he wants to be a civil rights leader. I tell him he needs to learn what is going on today. He needs to know because that is going to be his history.
Yes.
And he needs to know that if he's going to be a civil rights leader, because what happens is today is going to go forward. And he is going to be the one to make a change along with the other youth of today.
All right.
Thank you, Ms. Diaz, giving that grandmotherly advice, even though she don't look like a grandmother. And next, final two comments. First to you, Ms. Wanda Cooper-Jones, and that is, what advice would you give individuals to show their commitment to the resistance?
I actually have two as well. The first one would be using your voice. We have to speak. When we see things that are not correct, we need to fight for change.
Yes, ma'am.
Until I lost Ahmaud, I didn't really take the phrase, no justice, no peace, until my peace was disturbed.
My Lord.
And the reason why the trials were so successful is because we all stood together
Amen.
and we demanded justice for Ahmaud. So my charge to you is use your voice, and most importantly, we must stand together.
Amen. Wow, that's deep. You heard what she said? She had the motto of our civil rights leader in her mind, no justice, no peace, as she was standing in that courtroom for Ahmaud Arbery. Y'all give her another round of applause for being just a martyr for her cause. And finally, we come to the congressman. Philonise Floyd. I know you're about to say some profound things, some quotables. What advice do you have to offer to individuals to show a personal commitment to stand up against these enemies of equality in America today?
First of all, stay away from Target, stay away from Walmart. You got Sam's Club, stay away from them, go to Costco's.
Yeah.
Stay away from Amazon. You can go to Instacart. People have the understanding that these people are trying to eliminate everything about you. You can't talk about American history and not talk about black history.
Yeah.
It's unexplainable because we paved these roads. We took care of babies. We sit here and had to chop down trees to build houses and been lynched and been bitten by dogs. Our time has come to be able to unite and be able to get a generation of younger people to understand that, hey, if I'm older and I messed up, I came over that, let's help y'all get up this ladder and let's get them up to the top. Because I can tell you this one thing, a billionaire told me, I'm gonna see you at the top because the bottom is too crowded.
All right, I tell you you're gonna give us a quote. So, sisters and brothers, in conclusion, let's all get ready to do like Angela Davis, who said, I refuse to accept the things I cannot change. But every day I wake up, I will fight like hell to change the things that I refuse to accept, like racism, like discrimination, like bigotry. And let's have a strategic plan. I know our civil rights leader, the Reverend Al Sharpton, when we leave this conference, is going to give us instructions on how to use our black dollars and support our black communities to have a better future for our black children. And so, give it up for our great panel, Miss Wanda Cooper-Jones, Councilman Yusef Salaam, Miss Gwen Carr, Philonise Floyd, Sabrina Fulton, and Pamela Diaz. No justice, no justice, no justice.